Hi guys, and welcome to this week's reading vlog when we're gonna sit down and try to lock in and hit my Goodreads goal that I've set for this year because I set 150 books. Somehow, I feel like I've just been too immersed in fiction at this point. I'm nearly there, so I figured in this week's reading vlog, we can kind of read the last 5 books leading up to that together because I just want to hit my goal and I think I'll hit it with y'all and it will happen this week, which is why that's the vlog. Let's just jump right in, read a few anticipated books for me, but also hit that goal together because it's all for the funsies and that's what we're doing today. So like I said, I set a Goodreads reading goal for the year of 2026 for 150 books. But the thing is, I'm a student and I commute quite a far ways for college every single day. So that results in lots of extra reading time throughout every single day to kind of read books on my phone, on my Kindle, kind of listen to an audiobook to the point where I think I underestimated how much I was able to get done in the first half of the year already because I set this goal of 150 books for it to last me the entire year thinking I'll hit it towards the later months. Nope, apparently not. Apparently my head had different plans. Apparently I wanted to be too immersed in my fictional books because here we are, I'm nearly at that goal. I'm at 145 right now and I have only 5 left to hit that mark. So I figured in this vlog I would like to kind of hit that mark together with y'all, kind of get through a few fun books that I've been looking forward to, but also hit that because here's the thing. Numbers don't really matter. Reading 150 books a year obviously doesn't matter. It could be anything. Even if you read like a couple books a year, I'm so proud of you because it's always quality over quantity as long as you're enjoying what you're reading and you're taking the fun out of that. But I feel like the whole numbers game is just for fun, is just to see what I can push myself to, because the thing is, if I'm not reading, I'm probably just gonna end up doom scrolling because I don't really have other hobbies. I don't watch TV or anything like that, which is why it's better for me to read than to do those other things and get into those other parts and then waste my time that way, which is why I figured let's do that this week. I want to go ahead and at least read all 5 books, see where that goes, but also try to hit that goal together because it's crazy to me that we're already hitting it at this point in the year. It's still so early. And yeah, I just want to read it together and do it with y'all, which is why those are our plans. I'm just gonna go jump right into book 1, see y'all once I have things to say and updates to give. But yeah, all I'm gonna say is it's gonna be just like a fun one because I can read whatever I want to hit that goal and I'll be hitting it regardless. Because at some point in the year, I was even scared that I wasn't able to make it to 150, maybe it would be too much. But at the same time, I did read 250 last year. And at this point, I think I might be on a rate to overtake that sort of progress, which is why let's just see what happens. I do listen to my audiobooks extremely sped up, so maybe that's the reason why this year is going even faster. Who knows? But I will hit that goal now. See y'all in a bit once I have things to say for the first book on the way to hitting that goal, and let's see how this week's reading vlog goes off with those sort of updates and progresses, because honestly I just want a full bunch of books to read as I'm hitting the goal together with y'all, and I've said that quite a few times already, so I'm just gonna go start with it now. See y'all in a bit, and that's today's video. Alright, and it's update time because I went ahead and finished the first book we will be reading together to kind of hit my goal, which is 150 books. And this one is called The Butcher's Masquerade, 5th one in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. But I will describe only the events of the first book to you because frankly it would all be spoiler otherwise. And I really want more people to go ahead and like lock in and enjoy these. Even though it's getting all the hype it deserves at the moment, it still needs more because it's insane. It's the best time ever. The way the book just ended off right now, don't know how to feel. But before we get into my thoughts, let's get into a quick premise for the first book so you can actually decide whether you want to read it or not, because already the concept is insane and you just please read it. Okay, just take my word for it. Please read it. In the first book of the series, we follow the end of the world. Essentially, the apocalypse has happened, and if you want to keep living, there's these like stairways that open to go underground, and if you choose to like go underground and whatnot, you join this video game through which you will continue living. But if you stay up, you're gonna perish with the end of the world. So we follow Carl and Donut, Carl being the guy and Princess Donut being his ex-girlfriend's cat, as they decide that okay, they'll go underground to these stairwells. And as it turns out, the video game inside, it's like any other video game and whatnot. There's 18 levels. A human has only ever made it to level 13, I believe. And the way it works is that if you want to keep living, you need to survive to level 18, I believe. And then after that, we'll see what the author comes up with when that specific book comes out. But the thing is, to kind of advance in levels and keep going on to the next stage, you need to be able to do basic things you do in any other video game, so defeat the mob bosses and like acquire stat points and level up and all these other fun things. But as all of that's happening, the apocalypse is being televised, so there's a twist to the tale, basically meaning that if you've ever watched an Insta Live, picture that as there's this like whole intergalactic universe out there that is getting to watch each perspective of each crawler who has gone in there in that world. as is being televised essentially, so like a game show, but you get to watch each of their perspectives as they are fighting to survive, and they need to be popular in these televised perspectives so that the viewers who decide that, oh, they are like fans and whatnot, they'll start gifting the crawler like things that can kind of help them advance each level and make the process easier so they can keep surviving. And we follow Carl and Donut as they're trying to survive through the whole experience because they just want to live, they just want to make it through, and it's quite a process. So there's that. I read the 5th book just now. This one is called The Butcher's Masquerade, and essentially, for a quick, like non-spoiler, no nothing premise, is this party at the end of the level called The Butcher's Masquerade that the top players are invited to, and because these guys are in those ranks, their goal is to essentially survive the stage so they can get there and kind of, again, move on to the next level because they're on the 6th floor of the game right now. They've got to make it to 18. And the thing is, it's all fun and games until they realize that like, a bunch of hunters have been let loose on the level who are now eligible to kill crawlers, essentially, is their job, and so they need to make sure they don't get hunted, make it to the end of that party and figure out what's going on there. There's shit that happened in the previous book that they now need to like deal with in this one, and there's more shit coming their way. So essentially, just picture the craziest book ever. If you don't enjoy sci-fi, just try this anyway, because it's this very weird sort wherein I don't read a lot of sci-fi, but I keep going back to it because it's like a game. It's like any other video game, but just the way it's written and just the way the author does it, it's hilarious, but also it's kind of balanced out with like heavier moments, and I love reading it every single time. So overall, I'm gonna give this like another, I think, 4 stars because it was a little longer than it should have been. Don't get me wrong, I did enjoy every second. It's just some bits I did get a little confused, but I don't even care because the way the events progressed up to the very end, like I couldn't tell you any sequence of the events. This is the exact same review I gave for the previous book I read in the series. I can't tell you like the build up of what happens to leading to what till the stage we get at the end. But the thing I can tell you is that the ending that I just read, my jaw is on the ground. I don't know how to feel anymore. That was me at the end of the previous book, and that's me again this time around. I got such insane whiplash, and I need to start the next one now immediately again to see where the story continues. But the thing is, this was like over 700 pages, and I've been listening to it over the past couple of weeks because I knew I wanted to record this vlog at some point. It's just in the last couple of weeks, I read a bunch of like graphic novels and stuff, and I didn't really have anything to listen to in the background as I was like doing other stuff that I could be, doing as I was listening to an audiobook, say editing like my YouTube thumbnails, which is why most of it was already done by the time I just started. And all I'll say is, it was really worth the experience. It's just now I need to get to the next one, wherever it is. And I know it'll be a longer book, but I don't even care because I ate up every single page of this one. It is long, but I didn't really feel that length because I kind of breezed through it, even though I've been listening to it in parts as I've, been recording other videos and stuff, which is why, yeah, 4 stars. I'm happy I read it. I can't wait to get on to now the next for this video, but at the same time, I really just want to read the next one in the series and see where it goes because frankly, it's insane. It's just, I don't want to bore you out by getting to the same books all the time, which is why that's it for this one. I'll see what I end up picking up next. There are a couple other books I've started, so maybe something out of that lot, so I'm not reading too many books at the same time right now. But yeah, just know that I had the best time already with the first book. Video's off to such a great start, and now let's just hop into the next one, whatever that may be. Okay, so same spot next day. I'm here for my next update because I finished the next book, and this one is also an audiobook. It's of Kiss the Sky, which is the next one I had to read in the Addicted series. I started that a while back, and I'm slowly trying to make my way through it because I'm enjoying these books so much. I'll just be so devastated when the series is over, but at the same time, I needed to see where this goes, which is why here we are. And this one, like I said, I audiobook, but I started listening to this again in the last couple of weeks, when I was getting closer to the end of Dungeon Crawler Carl, and I was trying to save my thoughts for a video, aka here, so I left like the last 1 hour of it to listen yesterday, and then I had nothing else to listen to as I was doing like chores and things over the last couple of weeks, because again, I was doing only like graphic novels in the past couple of weeks for whatever reason. So started it then, I'm finally getting to it and finishing it off now, which is why I didn't have a lot left. And yesterday night itself actually is when I finished it, when I was getting my things ready for college today. And all I'll say is, I'm not really sure. It was definitely worth the wait, but it's not my favorite in the series, and let's discuss, because I feel like this is like the internet's favorite book ever, and people are definitely going to hate my opinions on it, because I feel like I'm not on the side of the internet where I'm absolutely obsessed with it, but at the same time, I didn't hate it. It was like a great book. It's just not the best one so far in the series, and I have more expectations from like the other ones, which is why we shall see. But for a quick premise, overall series, it kind of follows Addicted. So Lily Calloway and her boyfriend in a very loose sense, Lauren, because both of them are addicts and they're actually fake dating each other because they don't want to like worry off their families, and their families come from like a lot of wealth, billionaire sort, so they're trying to like keep their addictions under wraps so that the media and stuff doesn't find out about it, which is why they're fake dating each other to keep this like happy front up so no one's like worried and investigating into their own personal lives, except they're scared that being together in this way is going to start funneling this sort of way that wherein they're enabling each other's addictions. And this one specifically is actually part of the Calloway sister series, so the rest of her sisters and their romances, and it kind of blends in with Addicted. So you're supposed to read, I think, 3 books of Addicted and then this, and there's like a whole order for it, and I figured I want to read both series together to kind of see the whole timeline, the way it's going through, because you can read only Lily and Lo if you want, and I definitely love that couple and I wish I did that, but at the same time I want to read the other sisters as well. I want more perspectives in the world, and I want to understand the storyline in a cohesive sense in the order that it's, you know, made to be consumed, which is why I figured I'd read this. And all I'll say is it wasn't bad, but for me personally, Rose isn't my favorite character out of the group, so I feel like I wasn't as invested. And for a quick premise of this one specifically, we have Rose, who is essentially Lily's sister from the whole series, and she's essentially considered like the ice queen because she's like confident and smart, and no one loves a witty woman because everyone's intimidated but they can't show it. And so, you know, everyone just like turns her reputation through the mud just so they have like a different way of like criticizing her because she doesn't have any other fault otherwise. And on the other hand, we have her boyfriend Connor, and this follows their relationship, and he is basically her match made in heaven because he's just as confident, he's just as smart, they're both intelligent geniuses, they communicate and they fight with each other in French so no one understands, and that's just like insane. Also, that's where my French lessons came in place, because really handy, because I was able to understand what they were speaking about even though there were translations right after that, because listen, I know bits of French and it's really working in my favor right now. However, it essentially follows the two of them now as they're living in close quarters, because at the end of the previous book in the series, we're following Lily and something goes wrong and now they want to clear up her reputation and stuff, because again, there's like a media shit show, so they're all like taking part in this reality TV show wherein they're all living together under the same roof. So Lily and Lauren, Rose and Connor, I was gonna say Calloway. No, Rose and Connor, and the final sister who we've been introduced to, who's also part of the group, Daisy, and supposedly I think her love interest Reich. And you know, all of them, they're clashing under the same roof, but then these two especially, they are the sort of like not touchy-feely sort of people. She is extremely cold, he doesn't feel for people, but because they're under the same roof now, there's like tensions up in the air, and you know, maybe more will come of it, and they'll finally, you know, consider the fact that maybe their relationship is to stay forever and it's not the like on and off fling that they're assuming it is. And overall, it was a great book. I loved the way all the characters showed up for each other, the found family in this. Absolutely incredible, insane. It's just, for me personally, like I said before, for some reason I feel like I'm in the minority of the internet, where Rose and Connor are actually not my favorite couple. I think I like Reich the best, obviously, but then after that I do love Lily and Lauren second best, which is why these guys come last, unfortunately. And so I wasn't as excited to get to the book, but also because Connor, he's such like a brotherly figure in the first 3 books of Addicted, this is the 4th one, that, you know, watching him in that brotherly sort of perspective, kind of being there and showing up for these characters, Lily and Lo, it felt weird to be reading his romance here for whatever reason, I don't know. And also I feel like I wish we had a little bit more pacing of these two falling in love, because yeah, you get scenes from Lily and Lo's perspectives in the first 3 books, but here they're already, you know, together as a couple at this point, and I like the build up of them getting there, even though you did get to watch some other cool scenes otherwise, which is why overall this was like a 3.5 stars. Not as good as Lily and Lauren, but it was a great book overall. It's just, I thought it would be higher because the internet absolutely raves about this book, and obviously I get why. It's just, for me personally, it wasn't as great, but at the same time I don't even care, because the next one I believe is Reich, and I've been waiting for his book since day one. Since the day he was introduced, I knew he was my favorite character. I just needed his book more than I needed oxygen, and it's fine anytime I get to it. So I'm not sad or anything that I read this book. I'm actually happy because like I had a great time reading overall. It's just, it wasn't the best one. I might forget it in the long run in a very okayish way because I prefer Lily and Lauren more, but we shall see what happens when I read Reich and Daisy next, and then what happens with that and whatnot. It's just, for now, this is the one I read. I'm over explaining myself, but we basically did finish this, contributing to my goal. And today in the morning for my commute, I did have to listen to something else as well, because in the morning my granddad dropped me, but while coming back home, I was coming by myself, public transport, I needed an audiobook, and so I did start something else and I did get quite a ways through it. So hopefully I'll finish it this evening as well, because frankly my sleep schedule is completely botched. I'm trying to fix it, and the thing with me is I'm a night owl, so I'll stay awake really late into the night getting my stuff done, and then the next day after college I end up crashing out in the evening. And my goal this evening is to not take a nap of any sort, even if it's just 30 minutes. Not gonna take it. I just want like a full decent night's sleep and, you know, break that habit, which is why hopefully over the next few hours in the evening as we lock in together, I kind of want to stay awake, and, you know, to keep myself awake I want to keep listening to the book, get it done, and also get the goal done, which is why those are plans for right now. That's what I'll be doing, and I'll just get to the next book now. It's a romance again because that's like my favorite genre ever. See where it goes and update you guys in a bit with my next thoughts. But that's it for now. Gonna get to it and see y'all in a bit. Bye. It's a few hours later. I will go down for dinner now, but the thing is, if I look a bit worse for wear, it's because I've been listening the entire time basically, and I'm done with the next book. So we shall discuss. I will probably go have food, wait a couple hours, and then just get into bed because I'm so freaking tired now. But I got the book done, so I'm just proud of my accomplishments right now, because the goal was not to fall asleep, because I'm trying to fix my sleep schedule, and this is perfect. Everything's working out just the way I wanted, literally splendidly. And the book as well, I had the best time ever. So this one's called In Your Dreams. It's the fourth one in the Rome, Kentucky series. It's a small town book series. If you've read it by Sarah Adams, I think the first one's called When in Rome, really popular. And I started this over vacation, so it's, you know, full circle that I'm finishing the last one in it right now. And this one follows the couple I was, I think, most anticipating, like from a couple books ago. So finally getting to read the story now. I had the best time. In this we have Madison, who's essentially the wild child of the family. She pursues teaching for a little while before she realizes that that's not really what she wants to do. So she ends up going off to New York to now pursue her culinary dreams, except when she comes back she's crushed because the head chef who was there, he wasn't necessarily the kindest person. He put a lot of pressure on her, and he just, you can kind of tell when you read the book, is not a great person. But she comes back with all these broken hopes and dreams, and suddenly by mistake she ends up calling her brother's best friend James to kind of rant about what's going on in her life, because she was actually supposed to be calling her sister and she dialed the wrong number. And, you know, they end up speaking any which way. He realizes that wait, he wants to help her and he wants to like bring her happiness back. And the fun fact about this is that he's loved her from afar ever since the beginning, and so, you know, he's doing all these things in his power to kind of help her, in the sense that he has this farm that's struggling right now, and so he figures he'll open like a restaurant there, take his estranged brother's sort of opinions to kind of run it, so he can also get the farm back on track, because it'll attract like tourists to come and dine there and hopefully bring in some good revenue. But also because then he'll give the head chef position to Madison. They'll hang out, they'll spend more time together, and he'll finally do something about the fact that, you know, he's been in love with her ever since like day one. Except, you know, all of this happens, they're spending all this time together, and apparently she's falling for him too. So it's basically like a classic friends to lovers. And all I'll say is, guys, friends to lovers is such like an elite trope. It's so slept upon because everyone goes, oh, enemies to lovers, rivals to lovers, dark romance, whatever, and those are good, don't get me wrong. But this sort of trope, the book obviously as well, it does it for me every single time. Every time I read it, I'm just like, oh my god, I'm trying not to giggle, right? I'm smiling so hard. Heart feels like it's about to burst from my chest from so much happiness, because it just works every single time it's done correct. And this one, it was a little slow burn as well. And, you know, the perfect chemistry, the perfect banter, and just the way everything was going, that I think this is my favorite book in the series. So I'm so happy I continued the series to kind of see it through and read this, because I just had such an incredible time with these characters. I can't believe it's over. And while that's a bit sad, listen, I don't even care. I'm so happy I read this book. And if you want a good, cozy, small town romance, this is going to be right up your alley, with like literally the best friends to lovers I've read in quite a while now, which is why 4 stars. This is the next book. We still have 2 more to go, so I'm thinking tonight when I'm like waiting after dinner, because you're not supposed to go to bed directly after eating, probably be on my Kindle for a little bit. I'll start something on there, read that, maybe all of tomorrow as well when I'm doing my commute, and then hopefully we can kind of get that done. But I don't know, we shall see. I'm already on such like a great high of reading books that even though I'm a bit tired, I still want to read another, which is why I think it's going to be a Kindle book next. But again, really depends. So until my next update, those are our plans. I'm gonna get to dinner now because it's getting kind of late as well. And just know, excellent book. I'm having such an amazing time, and I'm gonna get to it now. So see you guys in a bit. Bye. Where I live essentially is like the biggest gaslighter in terms of the weather, because all of yesterday after my last update to you, and during my last update too actually, until this morning it was raining non-stop, red alert level, so I didn't end up going to college because it's not safe, and no one else went either, to the point where I was just at home chilling, reading my book. I got so much time to like get done with it, which is why I did finish it at this point, and so I figured I'll update. And then as I'm coming into update, it's like the nicest weather ever. You'll probably like picture this in like a magazine and hope for this sort of weather when there's shitty weather again, and it's just so funny to me how the tables turn. But here we are. Anyway, I'm done with the next book now, so I figured I'd update, speak about that really quick, because it's our second last one that we're reading together for our part of the goal, and this one's called Read Between the Lies. It's the same author who wrote Diary for Aunties, which I read a couple months ago. Gave that 5 stars, and the thing is, I didn't realize it, but as I was scrolling through my Kindle, apparently her team actually sent me this arc a few months ago, and I didn't know that this was sent to me way before I read Diary, so I wasn't like, you know, gravitating towards it. But after I read Diary and I saw this on my Kindle and didn't realize I had it, I was just like, I need to read this instantly, because that book was just like instant 5 stars. It was so good. I had the best time ever, and I want that feeling again. And this one isn't quite like it, which is why I don't know what I was expecting. But regardless, I just wanted to say thank you to the publisher for my copy, because insane that I have it and I got to read it that way, and it's just again full circle. But for the actual premise of this book, it's more of a thriller, because Dial A, that's like comedy thriller. This one's like a proper mystery thriller with slow build up, but it's like a psychological kind, trying to figure out what's going on and what's going to happen next, and try to keep you on the edge of your seat. Because in this one we follow Fern, who she hasn't had like the best time the way she grew up and stuff, because she lived in a stricter family where her parents weren't really like close to her, so she didn't have like that emotional connect at home. And then at school she had this one friend called Danny, but then as they started growing up and this new girl joined their class called Haven, she kind of lost Danny to Haven, because Haven became this like huge like pick me sort of person, where she's like nice to everyone except Fern, and then she's like almost bullying her in a roundabout way, and at some point she ends up taking Danny away from her as well, to the point where Fern feels like her entire childhood was ruined thanks to Haven, because along with that, Haven also constantly used to bully her growing up, and it got really bad to the point where, you know, something happens where Danny, that becomes their secret from the past, and suddenly Fern wants nothing to do with her, absolutely. And so fast forward to now, because they keep switching between past and present timeline, fast forward to when she is a full adult and she's finally like chasing her dreams of becoming an author, something she's wanted since forever. She's finally free of, you know, the shit that she went through when she was younger, and she finally feels like this is going to be her moment, until the pandemic hits and suddenly things aren't as they were planned to be, because we all know how that time era went in everyone's lives. However, she still thinks she should be fine with it, because she actually joined this like debut authors group, and she feels like all the people over there are the nicest people ever, they are her best friends, and suddenly, you know, she thinks it's gonna be okay, until she realizes that Haven has joined that same debut group. Haven also has her new book coming out the same year as Fern's, and suddenly, as you know, the pandemic is hit and everything else is going down, Fern starts to like slowly obsess over Haven in her free time, because she's lost her job at this point, and she's trying to figure out, you know, the stuff and the differences in comparison of what's going down with their book deals and stuff, because Haven's a lot better off than Fern in terms of the deal she got, in terms of the publisher, the publication house, the agent and whatnot, and to the point where everyone's just like raving about Haven's book about to become the book of the year, and Fern just feels like she's becoming an excluded nobody again, because everyone in the group as well, they're all on Haven's side, they're all just like getting so excited to be around her in her orbit, and Fern feels like she needs revenge now for what happened to her back in the day, to show everyone that Haven's actually just a bully, and she, you know, she needs her comeuppance because she didn't get it when she was younger, and it feels so wrong watching everyone still give Haven the social butterfly sort of attention she's getting, to the point where, you know, Fern went through all of that when she was younger thanks to Haven, and Haven's still getting all the good stuff in life, and so she starts exacting her revenge, but it doesn't go the way, you know, she planned, and there's like things that happen. And for me personally, this is an extremely slow book. I feel like it takes a lot of time to pick up, so some bits of it, yeah, I was bored, but also it is kind of short as well. I didn't expect it to end as soon as it did, which is why it's not too bad. It's under 300 pages. You can definitely binge it if you want to, and I feel like it was okay, even though it sounds better than it should be. This one, when I read it, it felt like a mid sort of read, because some bits, like I said, they were slow, so I was bored. The actual bits when things started to pick up, they still didn't go as crazy as I'd expected them to be, and you know, she kept feeling bad as a person, which obviously that shows that she's a good person overall, overall, that she's feeling the guilt. Fun, but then also, I wish there was more to it. I wish it was like a more classic thriller where, actually things go crazy and, you're trying to figure out what's happening, because I feel like this is very straightforward. This could definitely be, shortened a little bit more, even though it's already short, which is why overall it's going to be a 3 stars. I probably won't be thinking or being able to remember this in the long run, but it was good for whatever it was to have binged and read it so fast. And yeah, it definitely gave me something to do over the past day when I had literally nothing else. And yeah, it was a good book, don't get me wrong. It's just at this point I'm wondering if Dial A was like a specific right book in the right moment sort of book, because that one was 5 stars. I've read 2 other books by this author at this point and they've both been like 3.5, which is why I don't know, but regardless, I did finish this one out and I'm happy I read it. And yeah, I wish there was a little bit more like crazy oof to it, because it felt a bit lacking in that sense, especially because it's like a thriller and those are supposed to make you feel that way, and I feel like I wasn't on the tip of my toes the entire time reading it. But again, for what it was to like pass my time, it was good enough, which is why that's about it for this one. We'll go probably listen to the audiobook of the final one that I want to finish for the vlog, because I still have quite a few hours left in my day. I have a few chores to finish. Let's see how that goes, and that's gonna be my update, the rest of it for today. So see y'all if I get the other book done today as well. Who knows, because I'm in my binging spree reading era, but it really just depends, and hopefully the next one will be slightly better than this, because I want a good 4-star. Okay, there's nothing like it. I know our previous read was, and maybe I'm getting a bit too greedy, but I just want a good 4-star, and I think my next one can be it, because I've seen great things. And just cross your fingers and pray for me, because there's nothing like it, which is why I'm gonna get to it. See y'all in a bit now, and bye. And now I'm back from the same spot that I was in my intro, if anybody noticed, and that's because I actually forgot to record one for the video. But now I'm here for the outro, because I did go ahead and read the final book as well. We hit our goal, we hit the target. I got the little like celebrations, those things, the confetti on my Goodreads page, and I feel just so accomplished and good about myself this week, because I read so many books and my phone screen time has significantly gone down, so that's also a great contribution. But the thing is, now that I have finished the last book, I figured let me just update and then wrap the vlog up here, because the whole purpose has been achieved, and that's just such an amazing feeling again. But the thing is, I ended up reading this one called The Passion Project, which I've been looking forward to for a while now, so I figured we could speak about that really quick before I end the vlog up, because the thing is, it was like a anticipated, predicted like 5-star for me, but the thing is, things didn't really go as per plan, because I actually started it at the beginning of last week, around the time that I was getting ready for my concert. The previous night I was getting my nails done, and the thing is, not sure if I told you anything, but last week on Sunday I did end up going for a concert, and so I did start the book as I was doing all of that. But the thing is, I wasn't really very invested by the time I was done with my nails, and I was still listening to the book, and so that did not end up becoming the first book for the video. But I figured might as well just get back to it, because it won't be part of any other video anyway, and I just wanted to see it through. And all I'll say is, I have been thoroughly let down and disappointed, because I don't think I really like this. For a quick premise, we follow Bennett. She essentially should be living the life of her dreams and whatnot. She should be having the time of her life, because she lives in New York. She's in her 20s. She has all the freedom to pursue whatever and have her future set there. But the thing is, she's grieving the loss of the love of her life, because he died in a car accident, and the thing is, she just hasn't moved on with her grief since, and the thing is, she doesn't know what to do. So fast forward to like present timeline right now, because you've just been told about the grief and stuff. She actually ends up standing up this guy on a date, because she's attempting to move on. It's been quite a while since the whole thing happened, and she hasn't like had any progress since in her life, so she figures, okay, it's time to like break out of her shell again. But then the night of the date, she realizes she can't do it, so she stands him up, except later she ends up running into the same guy she stood up. His name is Henry, and as she explains the situation, because it gets kind of awkward, he is like a golden retriever, amazing guy. He actually comes up with the idea to help her find a new passion in life, kind of move on from that grief, and not necessarily leave that grief behind, but just not carry the burden of it in her everyday life, and kind of find something else to live for. And so he comes up with the idea of the Passion Project, like the cover, essentially, wherein every Saturday they'll meet up and they do something new in the city of New York, because there's endless opportunities, and then hopefully that's how she'll recover her passion in life, and they'll just do it as friends. He doesn't really have any expectations or anything. He's a good guy, and he wants to see her happy and obviously recovering again. So they hatch this plan, but then as they keep hanging out and stuff, they start to realize that maybe there's more feelings between them, and maybe there could be more that could come off it. And it's like a friends to lovers sort of situation wherein it's slowly developing. But the thing is, I didn't like this book because the grief, it's very realistic. I did enjoy that aspect of it. It's just the way Bennett would treat him throughout that grief. I feel like even when you're grieving, you can still be a kinder person to someone else. It's just the way she knew about his certain insecurities and she was like dragging it out for her own benefit to like not help her conquer her own demons, kind of dragging him in place to like substitute for that. That was not fun to read about because I feel like he deserved a lot better than the way she was treating him. But then also because the stuff she's gone through, I feel like she needs like professional help. You can't just like do a bunch of passion projects and help that as your help and whatnot, count it and whatnot, because it doesn't work that way, which is why I wish there was more talk of that in this book, and there wasn't any, and so it felt really weird. The process of grieving is obviously not linear and stuff, but it felt really weird reading about it because, you know, suddenly when she realizes, oh, she's in love with him, she's recovered, that's not exactly how it works. I feel like it was just done to like wrap up the book and the page count towards the end, which is why overall I feel like I didn't really enjoy this. I kind of hated her character because at points I did find her self-sabotaging as well, and that's just not a fun thing to read about at any point whatsoever, which is why I think I'm gonna give this 2 stars. And I'm so sad because the cover is literally so cool. The setting, it's in New York. That's like my dream place to like read about. It's probably my favorite setting in a book, and this would have been 5 stars. But the thing is, it wasn't, and that's the difference between expectations and reality. So here we are. I did finish this one out. I don't know what to say because I'm so disappointed. I know a lot of people enjoyed this much better than I did. It's just for me personally, many aspects of it didn't work. Even the whole romance and stuff, I could not see that happening. I didn't see any sort of connection between the two of them. It felt very forced and there was like no chemistry whatsoever. So here we are. All I'm gonna say is I didn't really like this. 2 stars. And moving along, this was the final book regardless. I did hit my goal now, and all in all to say, even though I didn't enjoy the last book specifically, we still found a couple great reads throughout this video. I continued a couple of series. I had a great week overall, and I hit my Goodreads goal. So I know it's again for funsies. The number doesn't really matter. It's just I hit it anyway. It gives me such like a fun, satisfying, happy, bubbly feeling that I will capitalize on that as much as I can and make myself happy with that overall, which is why, all in all to say, with that, we have reached the end of the video because we have achieved what we came for, which is why like, comment, share, subscribe, YouTube things, you know how to do them. If you did have a good time coming along with me, and now I'll see you all directly in next week's reading vlog very soon, because I know this was a shorter one, but at the same time, we needed to read only 5 books. So what did you really expect? But regardless, yeah, hopefully next week's will be a little bit longer, who knows. And until then, whenever I see you, take care, stay safe. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching, and that's about it. So bye.